right, super. So I'm an architect and computational designer. I run my own architectural laboratory. It's called SUAPP. And I have 30 minutes, I guess, so I will be as quick as I can. We do a lot of different projects from city master plans, for example, or city neighborhoods to small pavilions to virtual things like video games or virtual spaces, projects in metaverses and stuff like that. We are a small team. There are two co-founders of SLab, me and Alina. And we do love to host and organize educational activities, telling about our projects and how we do them, sometimes experimenting with different technologies. Most of the time, we experiment with different technologies, both in educational activities and real-life projects. So if you want, you can find our workshops and tutorials on platforms like Digital Futures or Design Morphine, for example. And I'd like to start with the question. Question is, who are you as an architect? Are you a visionary or just an executor? I would say that, do you see my screen completely?
Yes, I see it.
All right, because parts of it are blocked by Zoom UI and I cannot hide it somehow. No, doesn't matter. So I started as an architect doing drawings by hand and learning how to draw by hand. And it was like a long time ago. It was, I don't know, maybe 2006. That's the year when I started the university. And during my whole career, I would say, going from traditional handmade architecture to something digital. And nowadays, I would say I'm a full stack developer working on different things, mostly connected with web design, game design, and mix of these areas. Here is my tech stack, technologies that I use. I graduated from school learning basics of HTML, which is the basic language describing what we see online in our browsers and websites. Basics of Photoshop and AutoCAD. In university, I started learning more and more about hand sketches and presenting architectural ideas using hand techniques. I also started learning more about architectural software like 3ds Max, and in 2010 I learned about Grasshopper, and this was the point. I was always interested in programming, and but the programming always was somehow away from architecture. So when I learned about Grasshopper, those two fields like merged together. So since that moment, architecture and programming, they were combined together in my life, and that was a transitional moment for me. I constantly learn more and more Grasshopper techniques, as well as some kind of some real Grasshopper is a node-based tools, and I also started experimenting with text-based programming, like processing, for example, Arduino to make Internet of Things projects, Python, and later on more diving deeper into web design tools like CSS, JavaScript, as well as some other libraries. 2019 and 2020 is the year when we started experimenting with virtual projects and game design projects, learning more about Unity, and started experimenting with AI. Those were old school AI days, mostly image-to-image models, not nowadays LLMs style. Yeah, in 2023, the year when I started mostly working with AI and building my own AI tools. So the reason for why I'm saying this and why I'm showing my kind of tech exploration and tech evolution is that sometimes we think that you finish school, for example, and that's kind of the end of one chapter in your life. Then you're in university, and this is kind of completely another chapter of your life. And then you go to work after the university, and again, this is a new, completely different chapter of your life. But it's not like that, because I started learning web design at school, and nowadays I use it every day in my architectural career, let's say. So what I would say is that you combine and you develop different layers of knowledge during your life, and you're building on top of those layers. So uh, sometimes later in your life, you'll be going back to your past to, I don't know, unlock some interesting possibilities. For example, you were good at biology at school, and nowadays you're an architecture student, and you can combine your biology knowledges to develop, I don't know, new materials to build something, to create 3D print anything, whatever. So just follow your passion. That's what I would say here. SLApp as a laboratory, we experiment a lot, and what if, I guess it's our motto, slogan. We always ask ourselves, what if we do uh, this project using this algorithm, for example? What if we use this material? And it's a constant exploration of different things. Some of them do really go into real life. Some of them stay as experiments for some time and maybe appear somewhere late in other projects, but it's always constant exploration, experimentation, and so on. We started building small pavilions, uh, just like this, and this helped us accommodate knowledge to produce. Those were just experiments for different exhibitions, but it helped us to accommodate knowledge to work on real life project like this one. It's an interior for interior design showroom, and we created the whole interior and this parametric structure. This is the axle of the space, and you can see two parametric structures like this. We use Grasshopper and Rhino a lot, experimented with form finding, then um, trying to make everything simpler to for it to be really buildable within the time limits and budget constraints that we had working on this project. So here you see that how we went from uh, a form approved by the client, but it initially had like 10,000 elements, so it was really hard to assemble. And we kind of reworked it into 400 elements, which is way less and way simpler to create and build actually on site. It's all laser cut from flat aluminum sheets, and then when you assemble those parts, they combine into the 3D modules, and those modules combine together,
Hell yeah.
assemble geometries like this.
I might be able to get 45,000.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. And this is one of the workshops we were working with different students. Okay. A video, let's play. Yeah. So this workshop is about vertical farms, and we kind of explored this typology and experimented with size and scale. And we worked with two companies. One company produced 3D prints of different objects from recycled plastic, and another company provided us with hydroponics and plants. So with students, we developed algorithms and geometries to be 3D printed and assembled together, thinking about how we can bring vertical farming into our cities, both in interior and exterior spaces, to grow some herbs, food, something eatable within our cities, not outside, but as close to the citizens and final users as possible. So this project is a project for a competition we won, I would say, maybe a year and a half ago, specifically for using AI. It was before MidJourney and before ChatGPT, and we used here a tool called Dream, yeah, and we started generating some phrases describing this future city. How do we want to see it? What kind of features it will have? And then those features we just put them into prompt and generated some images, and that's how we got this mood boards. And from these mood boards, this project was made for a company from China. They create autonomous vehicles, and they needed some transformable spaces for their autonomous vehicles, and they inside those vehicles. So what they do is a four-wheel structure for the vehicle, and on top of that they can place different functions. It may be a hotel room, for example, or an office or shop, anything. So basically they were experimenting with a constantly transforming and moving city without static buildings, but where most of the spaces are created by their vehicles having different functions and being in constant movement. And for that, we still needed some kind of an envelope, and we tried to experiment with this envelope and to understand how it could work, function, and so on. So we kind of grabbed the infinite movement of the vehicles, tried to make it more modular, for it to be buildable and constructible, experimented with different compositions. So you can like grow this structure or decrease this structure by adding modules or removing modules. I experimented with economics for this project. We took market in Lagos as a test site, and we decided that we will keep the market, certainly, but we will add some more functions to it, like cafes, magazines, startups for recycling the products from the market and producing something new, like packaging, for example, for those products from the market and stuff like that. And so we ended up with images like this. Modules, wooden structures with inflatable walls from ETFE that could transform, letting the vehicles in and out, and it's city neighborhood that is in constant movement, where there is no rigid separations for transports and for people. They all mix together, combined in a continuous space, something like that. Yeah, we also do exhibitions. This one is about AI, designed with AI, of course. This exhibition is open now. It's working. So we experimented a lot with the concept, working with AI together on the concept, trying to find the logic and the story that we want to present with the architecture of the exhibition space, and later on, of course, with images and 3Ds and so on. Some images from the exhibition, a lot of 3D printing from recyclable plastics, and some projects from the virtual spaces. This one is pretty interesting because we were supposed to do offline stage design for a sci-fi festival, and it was during the COVID, and the festival had to go completely online. So we as architects were faced with a challenge. Either we lose the client or we adapt and propose something for them to work with us while the festival is completely online. So we came up with virtual pavilions where the visitors would go to explore, finding some hidden signs, numbers or letters or something like that. It was like a task for them to complete, find all the numbers, and provide, it's kind of a riddle hidden within the pavilion, and they search for an answer and share this answer with the organizers and win some prizes. So the logic was like this here. This space was influenced by cellular automata algorithm and a game called Game of Life, invented in 1970s by John Conway. My Game of Life was in that time in 2D, and we explored and experimented with this in 3D. It's all procedural design or generative design. So basically, you generate structure layer by layer, designing the rules and how the structure changes in time. It's up to you, but the final form, you never program it, you never draw it, you never model it. It's just generated by an algorithm. So you just set up some rules and see how it evolves with time. And it's a pretty interesting approach. And we made two versions, the pink one and the blue one. The pink one grows up, the blue one grows down. And to explore the pink one, you constantly move up, 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 up. And to explore the blue one, you have to go down, 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 deeper into the pavilion. This project is a virtual space as well, made for a modern art museum that has a vast digital collection of different games or research papers and stuff like that, collected from different artists and researchers across the globe. And they needed some kind of a desktop application to access this digital collection. And we were working on this. It's an infinite 3D space that you travel through, and sometimes you find kind of those crystallic shapes, crystallic forms. And when you approach them, a menu pops up, and you can explore like games available for you to play, or a podcast, different stuff. By clicking the menu, you either launch the game on the desktop, or you go online, open the browser, and read the research. The idea was like that. And when I say that we do apps, desktop apps, for example, like this, it also is made using web design techniques and with tools like Electron, for example. Why I am so fond of web design, for example, because it lets you build anything from Android app, iOS app, mobile apps, web apps, desktop apps, whatever. You can build your own Rhino using JavaScript. And there are a lot of tools for this, specifically developed, and different companies use them to create their own programs. Like, for example, Discord is a tool made with web design techniques and solutions. Figma, now of course, Figma is web. Notion, the desktop app for Notion is built with web design tools, and so on. A lot of questions to discuss here. This pavilion was made for first Metaverse Architecture Biennale, I guess 2 years ago. It was presented in the Decentraland and in the project called Worlds. And we were designing two spaces. This one is from Worlds. And the idea for this pavilion, we had to present pavilion about the future for the Biennale. And we were, first we started with the research. We were asking people, what would you like to take from your past into your future? Maybe some events formed you as a personality, or some things that you'd like to keep some sounds, for example. What if every sound in the world disappears and you can keep only one sound? What kind of sound would that be? And people were answering different things. And this question about sounds, for example, it became a basis for a soundtrack, sound theme for this pavilion. So when you explore this pavilion, you hear actually a tune combined of these different sounds. You can hear cats murmuring, birds singing, I don't know, wind flowing across the grass, something like that. Okay, and one of the main ideas, I guess, that I'm trying to explore and constantly ask people, maybe they disagree or maybe they agree, that the future of architecture is the software that will be created by architects for architects. Why I think so? Because recently there are a lot of architects all around the globe doing their own software. For example, Stanislas Chailu, he has a PhD and he was exploring neural networks that could create layouts and floor plans options, for example, during his PhD studies. And nowadays he is doing a tool called Rayon, which is AutoCAD mixed with Miro, for example. It works online and you draw different things. You have different blocks, assets, and so on, and it's a collaborative tool, so you can work all together on a single project. This guy, his name is Gilles Ratsin. He is experimenting with discrete approach in architecture. It's combined of different pieces, modular architecture, stuff like that. He is now working on he founded his own company. It's called Our, and it's mobile factories building homes. So what they do, they ship a robotic arm in a container that assembles different parts for buildings on site. And they create buildings like this, and they work together with different developers across Europe and the United States. The Very Many by Mark Forns, they produce things like that, sculptural objects, and they do not create their own software, but of course they use their own in-house algorithms developed with Grasshopper, Python, and I guess different other technologies as well. And when you work with software as an architect, you have something in your head, but to implement this, you gotta master the software. And if you do not know your software good enough, you cannot create ideas that are in your head. So you're getting blocked by your software skills. And the question here is, who is controlling your project then? Is it you or is it your software skills? And a lot of different architectural companies, studios across the globe, they invest into experimenting with technologies. For example, MBRTV, they have the Y Factory, separate kind of group of architects experimenting with technologies, creating experimental projects for exhibition, stuff like that. ZHA, they have a group called ZHA Code. UN Studio, for example, this is a screenshot from a job opportunities in UN Studio, and they need experienced full stack developer in their team, not an architect, a full stack developer. Why so? Because they need to work on UN Studio tools, their in-house set of softwares they use to create their projects. And when we talk about software, there are different concepts nowadays. One of them is Software 2.0, which was introduced by Andrei Karpathy, and recently he introduced a concept called Software 3.0. So the idea here is that Andrei Karpathy is a guy from companies like Tesla. He was working on Autopilot, for example, for Tesla, and then he worked in OpenAI on models like GPT-4. Now he's working on his own company, mixing AI and education. And the ideas behind different types of software is that software 1.0 is executing program line by line, and it's predetermined kind of outcome. So you wrote your program once, it outputs some results, and it works always in the same way. Software 2.0 is based on neural networks, and you can train, and instead of writing a program that will output something, you can train a neural network on a data set to output something, and it's software 2.0. And software 3.0 is nowadays large language models, when you can ask a model it's so big and so large that you can really talk to it and ask it to create a software for you, and it will create you a software like nowadays models by Anthropic, for example. You can ask Claude to build you a web app, and it will build you a web app you can use. In our company, we had an idea like diffusion software, and with AI you can mix different types of softwares together. Like you can make a code editor, a 3D editor, for example, a video editor, a photo editor, using different AI models, combine them in a single UI, and work with all these tasks within a single frame or tab in your browser. And we started with this vision building a tool called Kodia. It started as a set of interactive tutorials for architects to learn coding and creative programming with libraries like P5.js and 3.js. But later on, it evolved into first an online code editor where you could save your projects, upload different assets like images or 3D models to use in your programming project. And I guess like maybe half a year ago, a bit more, we started experimenting with node-based tools, building something similar to what ComfyUI is, for example, but doing it our way, combining 3D modeling with image generation, videos, and so on. So you could experiment with different models using node-based UI within your browser. And we experimented with this thing for a couple of months, tested it with people across the globe, and understood that node-based UIs are pretty complex to master. It's really hard to learn them, how to connect things, and so on. So we switched to, it's just another example, switch to a chat-based UI for Kodia. And you basically type what you want, hit one button, and if you want an image, the model behind will understand that you want an image and will output an image with your description, make a 3D out of it, a video. If you have questions, it will answer with text. And so on. So a bunch of different models combined together, controlled with a single chat interface. That's it. Yeah, and you can try it nowadays. It's all available online. If you have questions, you can reach out to me and I'll be happy to assist you if you need anything. So simple image generation, video, 3Ds, working with code, whatever you want. And they say that 2010s is software eating the world. It's the era when people were building software. 2020 is AI eating the world. And nowadays, 2025 is they say that the future is agentic. It means that there are a lot of different agents doing different things for you. So you just type what you want, and there are a bunch of agents that make a plan out of your expectations and go follow that plan, executing it step by step. And we came up with an idea of vibe modeling. Basically, when you, instead of 3D modeling something, you just type what you want this 3D model to be. And here is a standard nowadays approach working in Kodia. You have an image, you convert it to a 3D model, but it's pretty complex and heavy to adjust and refine. So we working and experimenting with an approach where you type a prompt and get a parametric model instead that you can fine-tune, control, and adapt to whatever you want. So you can start with some simple description like a chair, for example, and we will produce you a chair model that you can set up the way you want it to be. And the geometry, the quality of geometry here is controlled. So it's basically working like a text to code, then visualized with a 3D thing. And it's a different approach comparing to image to 3D that is being developed right now. And we call this tool spell shape. It's not available yet. We experiment with different things like parking structures. For example, you can get a parametric model for a parking structure with just a single prompt, and you can then fine-tune the number of floors, the parametric facade, for example, if you want to, the columns, everything you need for simple project like a parking structure. If you want to be among the first to try this thing, you can follow this link here. It's a Google form for you to provide some answers for us to better understand what this tool should be doing. For now, we are concentrating on different things like architectural projects, some furniture, and more advanced things like MEP projects with HVAC ducts, pipes, and stuff like that. Yeah, here are two links you can follow to learn more, I guess. And that's it. You can also find me on LinkedIn if you want to, on Instagram. Feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much. I will drop all of your information also in the chat later on for everyone to follow you on LinkedIn and Instagram. I just wanted to say this spell shape thing is like what I've been looking for with AI, because what annoys me most is that you have to build the 3D model first and then you can like do the rendering with the 3D model. But if there's an AI that can already 3D model for you and it's parametric and you can customize it, this is like it was in my head, but I didn't know someone was already making it. That's very cool. I'm very excited for that. I'll definitely fill out the form and try it if I can. I also urge all of you guys to do that and definitely follow Stepan on all his platforms. His LinkedIn is incredibly interesting. Also, if you are interested in AI and architecture in general, super cool. Thank you so much. That was incredibly interesting. Very cool that you showed that and all of your work.
Thank you for inviting me. And I guess I should jump on another call right now, actually. So it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out once again and have a great workshop.
Thank you so much. Have a good
See
day.
you guys. Bye.
Yeah, guys, so that was Stepan with his incredible input. I knew it would be interesting, but I didn't know how interesting it would be. So I'm very happy that he showed us what he did. I definitely urge all of you to try Spellshape. Spellshape, I think it's called. I'll also send the links later, as I said. But we're gonna be moving on because this is not over, guys. We're just getting started. This was just the guest input. Now it's going to be old school me with some AI and showing you guys what I learned, because I have so much new information in my head that I've been keeping for 2 weeks for this workshop that I would like to show you. So we should jump right ahead. So as we saw now from the input from Stepan, AI in architecture is incredibly useful and transforms our profession. So we're able to do faster concept development. We can experiment with form and facade. We can do more visual storytelling for the clients, and it's just better for Rhino workflows. I'm saying Rhino workflows because I use Rhino, but obviously it also works with SketchUp. And I think what I would like to start with first is SWAPP AI, because this has been my favorite AI that I've been using recently. And I'm not being paid to say this or anything. I have no affiliation with them other than them providing the membership for me. But I really like SWAPP AI because it works as a plugin. So you just have to download it. Obviously, you pay for a subscription, and then you can use it just in Rhino and in SketchUp as a plugin. I will show you right now as a demo. But SWAPP is an AI-powered design plugin for Rhino, and also it works with SketchUp. And it allows you to create fast visualizations. It can create form transformations, also parametric integration, and it's the perfect use for like early design phases or like early renders. So how do you use SUAPP AI? So in order to use SUAPP AI, we will first select the geometry in Rhino, then we will open the SUAPP AI panel. You can use the command air to open it. I will show you. Then we select the parameters and we will generate the AI-based alternatives, and we basically then pick the best option. So this is what we're going to do now. Here are also some tips that I gathered from myself and from the SUAPP AI team. So start with a simple, clean geometry. Also, SUAPP works best for facades, shells, and patterns. So if you have something that is a really interesting facade, you can use SUAPP for that. Also, you can use it to combine with grasshopper tweaks and create like crazy variations in like seconds. I will show you right now. And also expect the unexpected. Obviously, it's AI. So just explore freely and get ready to see some interesting stuff. So now we're going to do the live demo. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting, but basically what we do here, hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing for 1 second just to show you guys. Ooh, 1 second. Hold on. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, so let me show my screen again. My apologies. Screen 2. Okay, here we go. So this is their landing page. This is where you get in if you just Google SUAPP AI. And this is where you can download it. So you go here, you can see they have SUAPP AI AIA, which is for like dynamic visualizations, and they have different types of it. And basically it works as a plugin for your 3D softwares, and you can create like render-like images, which is super cool. Also, I'm sorry if my voice is like a little raspy. I'm a little bit sick. But it's okay. So you would click here on download, but I actually already downloaded to show you guys. Let me move this over here. So what we have here is a 3D model. So this is 3D models that I did with my partner one of the last semesters, and it's just a house. As you can see here, nothing special about it, just a 3D model. And what we're gonna do now to showcase SUAPP for you. So what you would do is you go up here, you type air as a command, you click, and then boom, this window opens. Sorry, I want to make it bigger for you. Okay, do you guys see this window? If you can't see the window, then type it in the chat. But what we do now, we're gonna reset it. Okay. So here's basically right now it has the snapshot of my 3D model. So this is what we were looking at before. I'm going to do the snapshot again. Okay, new snapshot. Do you see here? Now we have the place here to do the prompt. So you can type in a positive prompt or a negative prompt. I already prepared some positive prompts, so that's what I'm going to do. But if you want to learn more about prompting and how to prompt effectively, you can watch the recording of the last workshop, which is in the Telegram channel. Let me... Okay, so organic pavilion, timber facades. Let me make this big because I want to save it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna just take one of my prompts. Sorry. Take one of my prompts. We go back to SUAPP. Oh, I don't know what happened. Well, let me do it again. Sometimes when I like switch around too much, it like stops working. Oh, okay, perfect. So I'm gonna insert the prompt. Organic pavilion, timber facade, parametric form from static soft light hyperrealistic render. So this is what I did. You can also activate prompt refinement, which is a tool provided by SUAPP itself, which makes your prompt better. So look what it did now. It basically improved my prompt for me. It's like added more details, hyper realistic, every detail. So whatever you need, it refined it. Confirm. So now here, this is creative editing. I'm going to talk about that later. But what we're going to do now is we're going to click create, and it's going to create a rendering in like seconds. This is insane, guys. When I first tried this, I was like shocked to my core because I've never seen anything rendered so fast. So yeah, it takes like 20 seconds, maybe even faster. but it basically creates a whole render based on your description. Come on. 3D model, render. You guys. Like seconds from this to this, and it looks good. Like even when you zoom in, obviously you go back in with Photoshop, you delete whatever you need, but this looks incredible. Okay, so let's, for example, if you're like, oh, but I don't like what's happening at the bottom here, we go to creative editing. Oh no, sorry, we go to editing mode. That's what I meant. I was like, creative editing, what am I talking about? But what we do is we do brush selection. We go like this. So we highlight everything we don't like, basically. Like, I don't like this whole part. I want this all to be different. So I go over here. And I want, and now it's going to create something different from what we had before, basically. Oh no, where did it go? Hold on. I lost it. Oh no, it's here. How can I set the scale of the building to match with the rendering? It seems like the AI turned a one-story building into a huge building. So this building is actually, you're probably, in your case, it may be different, but this building is actually pretty big. So in my case, it is correct. But if you're having trouble with the AI scaling, you can just zoom in and pick a more like human perspective. And when you pick a human perspective, the AI is able to read the scale better. I also know that you're able to set the scale somewhere here. Let me see. Lock massing. If you try lock massing, you can mask different parts of the section of the model, and it allows it for a better result. So, where's my new thing? Oh yeah, here. No, wait. Did I just lose it? Oh yeah, look, so this is what I highlighted. I wanted this to change, and now it created this. So amazing, right? Let's try a different prompt. I have more prompts. Let's say brutalism. Everyone likes brutalism, right? So let me go back in. We're going back into SUAPP. We're typing in, we're typing in our prompt. Oh no, it didn't look it. Sorry, guys. I'm going back in. We're going back into the Rhino. Going back in here, we're gonna do some prompt refinement. The AI does it for yourself, so it refines the prompt for itself to understand the prompt better, which is super cool. Also, if you click on different sections of the prompt, you can highlight how important it is for your render. So if you go here, like Brutalist building raw concrete, you can give it a 4, and then it will treat this part of the prompt as the most essential, basically. Okay, so here we go. Okay, hold on. Let me confirm. Great. Let's see. Does Swap Air work with Archicad or just Rhino SketchUp? I believe it may also work with Archicad. I've only tried it with Rhino or SketchUp, but if you're having issues using it with Archicad, you can convert your Archicad model to a 3DM, which is the Rhino file, and use it in Rhino as well. So look what we have here now. It's interpreted our prompt. So we went from the wood building to a concrete building. And you can also go up here and you can pick different styles that SUAPP has chosen for yourself. So maybe you want like a more, I don't know, you want like you like this style or you want this type of building. Like, let's say this. Let's try something new. And then you just click create again, and then you can just experiment. So obviously this is not like perfect rendering up front. You can't control it perfectly, but it is incredible for like testing out like quick renders to see how your image goes. Okay, see, now it has the rendering is a little bit of a different style, and it has maybe more of what we were going for. So the raw concrete, the building, it's very cool. And I just want to like, you can see here what changed. So if I go left, right, left, and right. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, so I think this is definitely very cool. I'm gonna save this into our workshop file. Save. For us to use later in MidJourney. Also up here, you can find the creativity weight. The creativity weight basically allows the AI to see how much creativity it has. Let's just set it to 0 and see what happens. If we set it to 0. I'm just playing around now to show you guys how it works. But very cool. And also the SUAPP team is very friendly. You can reach out to them on Instagram, and if you need a license or anything, they always answer. So you can always reach out to them on Instagram to ask any more questions if you have them. Okay, now it is changing our shape. So we have to maintain the creativity weight, and let's see what happens if we get the creativity weight to 1. What will happen with our model? So it's still using my like basic image. Like we're still using just a screenshot of my 3D model, and it does all this. I think that's incredible. Yeah, so now we have some changes were made, but because our creativity weight is set to 1, it's not that big. So this is how you use SUAPP AI. SUAPP Air is the command, SUAPP AI is the full name. But I just want to quickly, before we move on to MidJourney, I want to go through the editing. So obviously you can do the brush selection where you can remove stuff. You can do the lasso selection, precise selection. So these are just selection tools to fix. You can also do implanting. So you can implant specific objects from Google and put them into your render. You can sketch and add stuff. You can collage, background remover, style reference, like a lot, guys. Let's say I want to sketch. Let's say we're gonna add like a roof here. Okay, like this is a really bad drawing. Obviously this is like a really, really bad drawing, but you're gonna see what it does. I think the program. This takes a little bit longer because the AI has to think about what my messy drawing means, but I still think it's very useful. And I use SUAPP Air for like just testing out how my 3D model looks and how it like comes off on a render, because sometimes you don't have enough time to render fully just to try it out. But I use SUAPP Air just as a command to quickly see what happens to my render. See, okay, so it interpreted that as like glasses coming from the roof, but that's pretty cool. Like imagine if you actually like took your time and drew like a full roof here, it would just like integrate that. So that's super cool, guys. So this is SUAPP. I would like to go back here. Sorry, guys. No more editing mode. Okay, here we go. Full screen mode. So this is where we were now. So we were how to use SUAPP A. This is what I showed you just now. We had the demo. So let's talk MidJourney. So MidJourney is another AI tool where it allows you to create AI visual storytelling. So it is best to generate images for architects, but also a lot of like game designers and just creative professionals use it. And you can also do animations now with MidJourney version 7, which is super cool. Obviously, you also need a subscription for it. I just got the student subscription, which is $11 per month, but I think it's very worth it. So what is it best for? In my opinion, it's best for mood boards and atmospheres. You can create really cool like reference images. You can create material and facade studies. You can create competition visuals and just early project presentations, which I think is super cool. So why do architects use MidJourney? They use MidJourney to explore style and materials because you can create reference images. It's also ideal for competitions or client pitches because you can create compelling visuals very quickly for the presentations. And you have creative freedom because it's AI powered. So you can quickly try out different tools very fast, just like back to back, which is very cool. So these are the prompt examples I've already used, which we will be using later. So here we have the organic pavilion, which I will be using, then the Bruches public building, and then minimalist glass tower, which is super cool. And those are all 3 prompts that we're going to use. And here are some prompt structure and tips that I gathered from the community and also that I found. So the better your prompt, the better your results will be, basically. You always need to talk about the typology. You need to mention the style. You need to say the materials like timber, concrete, glass, the environment, and the lighting. So those are the most important things that we also covered in the last workshop. And when it comes to technical settings, I always set it to AR 16:9 for wide visuals. So this makes it like landscape. And you can use V6 for the latest AI version, but also there's now V7, which is for the animation, and always see to lock style. So I think those are the most important tips, and also some advanced tips that I added recently. You can test multiple prompt variations. Obviously, use opposite keywords sometimes to like get new results. A friend of mine told me to try this, and it actually works pretty well. I will show you now. You can refine prompts with each iteration, and you can upscale the best images. But also warnings, the AI can sometimes generate unrealistic forms, and you definitely need to like validate your concepts before modeling. And it's just for inspiration. Obviously, you can't really use it for like construction documents or like anything of that sort yet. So now I'm going to do the demo for you. Let's go. Here we go. Okay, so here we are in MidJourney. I just typed in MidJourney and logged in with my account. But basically, what was also on my story is I just took one of my prompts, which is organic pavilion timber set per metric form for a setting. So as you can see, I have the topology, the form, the setting, the light, and the render. And this is what we got. So this is already V7, so it just created like some images. Obviously, there was no reference image input by me. It was just like the software itself creating these images. But I think it's very cool what it can create with just a couple of words. You have some creation actions over here. So, sorry, maybe I should have mentioned this before, but to create something in MidJourney, you need to go on the Create tab, and then you type in over here your prompt. And then once you get your images, you can have some actions here, like you can create strong or subtle. So like if you pick this image and you want to like do strong, then it will create multiple images of this image. You can also like rerun the same image. You can animate the image with high motion or low motion. I'm going to show you that now. But I think this is incredibly interesting for trying out. And then what I did is I used the same prompt and I said, okay, animate this for me. And this is what it made. So just from nothing, we just created an animation of a pavilion. Like, amazing, right? So this is what happened. This is what was on my story. And then I tried inputting the brutalism prompt, which created this, which I was like, okay, this is cool, but it's just like random brutalism blocks. Like, it's not really anything to do with my building. And then I was like, okay, let me use my image. So I added an image, a screenshot of my 3D model. You can see it down there. And the same prompt. And this is what MidJourney made. So it's obviously like inspired by my image, but it's not really my model, right? Like it's not good. Then I added my image as an image prompt and as a style reference. So if you go over here, you can write in your prompt, and this is the image I have, and I put it in as image prompt, and I put it in as style reference. You can also put it in as omni reference, but for me, it didn't really make a difference. So, and then I would go here and I would copy my prompt. Hold on, let me copy this. Oh yeah, oh, it's here. Okay, perfect. And then we go here. Let's see what it does. Oh, and then I also tried animating it, which was cool. It takes a little bit more time when you animate it, but which is interesting. Let's see what it does. Okay, let's see what it's doing. Okay, look, it already looks like my model. Okay, like the image I put in, if you were in the last workshop, you know this is exactly like my model. It has the same vibe, like this is basically my model image. And then let's see, it's still not done, so I'm gonna wait until I am excited. But here are some animations. What I would use MidJourney for, if you're an architect, you can input your 3D model screenshot and it creates like a full cool animation. We can also try a new one if you want. But look, now it created like different views of my model. I think that's amazing. Let's try it again. So let's take my image. I'm just gonna create a screenshot. So I just made a screenshot. Where's my screenshot? Did I just lose my screenshot? I hope not. But actually it doesn't matter. Okay, let's I don't know where my screenshot went, but we can just go here. Let's add another image. Let's add my SUAPP image. Open. So we're just going to use my SUAPP image. We're going to use it as an omni reference, okay? So we put it everywhere. And I'm going to say, I'm going to use my same prompt that I used last time. So this prompt. And let's see what MidJourney creates. So I'm using V7 and not changing anything for now. So we're just testing it out. Let's see. But I actually didn't know you could use images before because MidJourney used to be on Discord in the early days, and I don't remember you being able to input images like that. I think that's pretty sick, in my opinion. Let's see what it does. So obviously we gave it like a prompt, but also our image. So it's going to use both to create the visualization. Let's see. 71%. Cool. So obviously you see the image is not exactly like a 3D model. You can play around with some settings. You can reduce the creativity and of the actual AI, and you can tweak around and get as close to your original 3D model as you can. But obviously it's not going to be perfect. This is AI. I don't think there's a perfect AI yet, but it's cool for like experimenting. So this is like what we got now. So it just took our image and basically made it more. I think it changed the roof shape actually, but like let's keep it as is. Let's say, oh, I like this one. Let's say strong. We like this, and let's animate it in high motion. Okay. So now we're gonna wait for the video. So down here it's creating the variations, and up here it's creating the video. I'm curious to see what either one will be like. Do you have any questions for MidJourney or SUAPP while we wait? Because I think it's gonna need some thinking time. But if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat and I'll answer them. So now down here, it's creating some variations of the image I said I liked. Okay, cool. So like this looks cool. Obviously, it looks a little bit AI over here. You can go back in with Photoshop and fix it. But I think this is like we guys, you have to remember, like we started with this. Like we basically started with nothing, and now we're here. I think this is amazing for what it is. And now it's just doing the videos for us, which is my favorite, honestly. I really enjoy the videos. Yeah, but this is what I was doing before. Like the animations are incredible. Like if you just use your 3D model, like what I did here, and input your thing, amazing. 76%. Very cool. Also, if you have any like AI recommendations for the next workshop, also drop them in the chat. I will write everything down for you guys. 92%.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the workshop and for this opportunity. And it was amazing. I would like to ask you, when you started to give a master plan, or let's say a landscape view, when you take like in one perspective view, can you take more than one perspective view in one landscape or master plan area? Is
Are
it
you talking
possible?
about MidJourney or SUAPP right now?
I mean, for example, you just had a 3D model,
Yes.
and then instead of any other visualization, you just use it. I tool like this swap. I don't know how to call.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. But you took one perspective view. Can you take more than one perspective view with the same landscape area which you gave?
Yes, you should be able to. So,
And also,
yeah.
and also possible to take a like top view.
Yes, you can pick the view you want to use.
But in the
SUAPP,
same, yeah, in the same, like in the same visualization that AI gave us.
yes. So what you would do is you would
Okay.
do this. You would type in the command air. Like you would pick your top view, and then over here you would pick the style to be the same, and you would just generate multiple snapshots and generate multiple images from the snapshots, but in the same style. And if you keep the same style and prompt, it should be able to retain the landscape and everything. At least that's what I was told. So
Okay.
you should be able to. I think maybe if you want to, we can try it with this one, just to make sure I'm not talking wrong here. Okay, let's see. We're gonna set it to top view. We have our air here. So we're redoing a snapshot, and now we are going to do it again. Sorry, I don't know why it's so small now. Okay, great. Sorry, guys. Let's see. It should be able to, at least that's what I was told, but we will see. Okay, now it interpreted my model. It's obviously working with a different prompt than this one. So the prompt I used was the same we used for this one. But I think with the top view, you would have to adjust the scale a little bit. You would have to play around with this massing situation over here. So if you go down here, you can do log massing and then set a massing scale for the AI. I think if you play around with this, you can create some cool images, but this is what it interpreted as now. Obviously not what we mean, but I think it's trying to keep the same style as before. It's just confused about the log massing. I don't know if I have enough credits to do that, but you should be able to try it out. But I think I would like to go back to MidJourney because I think our video is generated now. Look, guys, like we just created this out of nothing. And if you like follow a bunch of like architecture pages, you know that they always do this like rendering shot, which is like hard to do when you're doing it manually, but online it's pretty easy. And if you do this, you can obviously, before you do your animation, you should Photoshop a little bit and then go back in and create the animation, which is very cool. I think that's most of what I wanted to say, actually. Let me go back and see. So yeah, now we have a little bit of time left for our Q&A. Obviously, remember, AI is just a creative assistant. It's not a replacement. Do you have any questions, any project challenges, or any ideas for future workshops? So Julia is asking, how can you create the video in MidJourney? Let me go back in. So what you do is you create your image, this image. This is the image I created. You go, oh, sorry. You go in here, over in the bottom here, you have animated image, and you click on low motion or high motion. So high motion does the fast zoom, and low motion does the slow zoom. So I click on high motion, and then I exit, and then over here, it's going to create the video for me. So I hope that makes sense. You just click the high motion or low motion tab. Are there any more questions or feedback or ideas for the workshop? Or any guest suggestions, honestly, because I really liked Stepan and his input. I'll post all his links. I tried doing it before, but I think it won't let me copy from Instagram over here. So I'm going to post it on my story for all of you to follow him. But he's incredibly cool. And I think his input was very valuable. So now it's creating our video. Does anyone else have any questions, any feedback, any inputs? Okay, then while we wait, I want to remind you that if you want to access the previous recordings or receive any more information from me that is maybe something I can post about, like more industry insights and information, you can always join the Telegram channel. The Telegram channel is for a paid fee, which can be paid as a subscription, and all the funding from the channel goes to fund this series. So I will use the money to like fund the workshops and invite guests and everything. So it all gets reinvested into our little business over here. So if you are curious about that and want the recordings, you can join the workshop, but obviously you don't have to because the series is completely free. And if you join live, you can see the same thing for free. And obviously you can also screenshot and record what you need yourself. But yeah, this is just the Telegram channel. Obviously everyone is very welcome to go over there. But yeah, this was the video. So thank you guys for joining the third iteration now of this workshop series. I will do the next iteration in 2 weeks' time. We have another incredible guest, which I will post about soon. This guest was amazing. So you want to stay tuned. I don't know how he agreed to this, but very amazing. Thank you all for joining. I hope you all liked it. If you get any more questions, if you have anything you want to tell me, just DM me and I'll check my DMs after this workshop and hopefully help everyone. So thank you all for being here. I hope you have an amazing day. And if you need anything, just reach out. Bye, guys.